technique is called the Emboss Resist Sparkle technique, and I'm just taking my embossing buddy and I'm rubbing it on a piece of Whisper White cardstock that I have cut to measure 5 1/4 by 4 so that it mats perfectly on my base card, which measures 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And the embossing buddy removes any static off the paper so that I don't have embossing powder stuck on my paper where I don't want it. I'm using a butterfly from my Papillon Potpourri stamp set, and I'm inking it in my First to Mark ink, and I'm just going to randomly stamp my butterfly. And I'm going to stamp with my little butterfly as well. And I'm going to add some antennas. Alright. Next, I'm going to take my clear embossing powder and I'm just going to sprinkle it over the whole piece. Tap off the excess, and now I'm going to heat this with my heat tool. And if you've never heat embossed before, it's always a wow. It's always really cool. So I'm just going to heat this up, and you'll see the powder start to melt and go shiny like a plastic. So I'm going to start sponging on some of the ink. I'm using Crisp Cantaloupe and Island Indigo, and I'll start with my Crisp Cantaloupe. Now I'm using a sponge that I have cut up, Stampin' Up! Sells these sponges, and I just cut them up into bits and pieces. And I'm going to just ink that up, and I'm just going to rub it onto my card. Alright, now that I have my Crisp Cantaloupe, I'm going to come back with my Calypso Coral and just add a little bit of a darker tone. I'm going to add my last color, which is the Island Indigo. So I'm just taking a piece of tissue that's been moistened with a little bit of water, and I'm just rubbing off the ink that is sitting on top of the areas that have been embossed, and you can see that the ink really starts to shine through. It's actually the paper behind the clear embossing powder that is popping through. Now this is the same thing as Emboss Resist. The difference to this is we are going to add some sparkle. And if you've never used a two-way glue pen before, you need to get the glue to come out. So what you do is just hold it down for a few minutes until you can see the blue glue start to come out. And it's called a two-way glue pen because when it first comes out and it's blue, you would use it like a regular glue. Just go ahead and adhere your cardstock to whatever you're working on. And if you put the glue on and then set it aside to dry, it's going to turn clear and it becomes repositionable. So that's why it's called a two-way glue pen. So you can see I got my glue coming out, And now I'm just dabbing on my glue pen where I'm going to want my glitter to go. Tap off the extra. It's absolutely gorgeous in real life. I hope you can see how pretty that is. So next we're going to take some white organza ribbon. I'm just going to tie a knot. Okay, I have another piece of Violet Indigo. I'm rubbing my embossing buddy on it, and I'm using the Your Lovely stamp set that you get free during Sale-a-Bration. And I'm going to grab the Live Happy. I'm going to stamp it in my first mark just like we did for the butterflies. And emboss it in Whisper White. So I have my little banner punch that you also get free during Sale-a-Bration with a qualifying order. And I'm just going to line that up and punch it out. I'm going to grab my Stampin' Dimensionals, and I only need a tiny little dimensional, so I'm going to cut it in half. So I've added my sentiment, and now I'm going to add some bling. And there's my finished card. I hope you enjoyed that. It's a fun technique. It's basically simple, your embossing resist technique, just added a little glitter and some bling. So I hope that inspires you to do some stamping today. Thanks for watching, and happy stamping.
Hey, if you wanna play, make it about a place. It'll take